everyone, welcome back to Hands-Free Studying for the MBE, brought to you by Brainscape.
These upcoming criminal law questions cover property crimes. Let's get started. Question 1. What intent is required for theft offenses? The intent required is the intent to permanently deprive. Question 2. What constitutes an intent to permanently deprive? An intent to permanently deprive requires that the defendant intend to keep the property, abandon the property, destroy the property, or hold the property for ransom. Question 3. What is the doctrine of continuing trespass? The doctrine of continuing trespass states that if a defendant takes property without the intent to permanently deprive, and then later decides to keep the property, the defendant will be considered to have the latter intent at the time of taking. In other words, the defendant will be guilty of larceny. Question 4. What will negate the intent to steal? A defendant can negate the intent to steal if they have an honest belief of claim of right, no matter how unreasonable this may be, or if the defendant had the intent to restore the exact property. Question 5. What are the elements of larceny? The elements of larceny are the trespassory taking of personal property in another's possession with the intent to permanently deprive the owner thereof. Question 6. If the defendant originally intended to permanently deprive, but then later decided to return or abandon the property, what is the defendant's criminal liability? The defendant will be guilty of larceny due to their original intent, even though they later changed their mind. Question 7. Can you be guilty of larceny if you are in lawful possession of the object at the time of taking? No, there must be an unlawful taking to constitute larceny. Question 8. Under common law, is a defendant guilty of larceny for failing to return or report lost or mislaid property? Yes, the defendant will be guilty of larceny if, at the time of finding, the defendant intended to keep the property, that he knew or had reason to know had a rightful owner, and he failed to take reasonable steps to return the property. Question 9. How does the MPC treat lost and mislaid property? Under the MPC, a defendant is liable if he fails to take reasonable measures to restore the property. Now note that the key difference between the MPC and common law is that under the MPC, the finder's intent at the time of finding is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is whether or not the defendant failed to take reasonable measures to return the object with the intent to permanently deprive the owner. Question 10. What are the elements of larceny by trick? The elements of larceny by trick are fraudulently obtaining possession of property owned by someone else with the intent to permanently deprive.
And that's the end of your 10 flashcard study round. To reach full mastery, remember to study in Brainscape. Our mobile and web app uses the latest in spaced repetition techniques, allowing you to optimize your study time and track your progress down to the finest detail. But of course, when you're driving, cooking, exercising, or otherwise unable to navigate the app, be sure to keep listening to the rest of this hands-free studying playlist. No matter what subject you're learning and what method you're studying it, Brainscape helps you rise to your challenge.